Welcome back to our informational show. I'm Tamara Stuchlak, and with us is poet and an accomplished writer from Russia, and her name is Marina Tuyrina Oberlander. And we're going to jump right back in, and we'd like to know what event took place in your life that really pushed you in your creativity.
You know, it was very interesting. In 1998, after I divorced my husband and the father of my daughter, there was an artist who wanted to paint my portrait. And he painted my portrait. And when I saw this portrait, I thought, that is me. I gained confidence in myself. And then when I came to the United States and I got married again to my American husband, and I started to write again. I had a period where I was only translating. I wasn't writing my own poetry or my own stories because, you know, when you are rejected, you lose confidence in yourself. And I started to write poetry again.
And the joy and the art of the craft.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. And I hung this portrait on the wall in our living room, and I look at it. And I even wrote a poem about this portrait.
What did you see in yourself reflected in that portrait?
Confidence.
Wow.
Confidence. I saw a confident woman looking from the
because that's what portrait. He put into that
yes,
portrait.
That's what he.
Wow.
And when I was posing to him, I didn't have anything in my hands. He put a notebook in my hand. And that was the turning point. And I started to prepare my first book. I published it, and I continue writing now, and I'm very happy about that.
And you have an amazing, was it a poem about the cello?
It's not a poem, it's a story. It's a short story, which is actually based on my family's story. But it is written from the point of view of cello, that the cello is telling the story of her life.
The cello is alive, and the cello is...
the cello is alive. The cello is alive. The story is called 7/8 because the size of the cello is 7/8. It's a very rare size for a small hand. My father had a small hand.
And your father played the cello?
And my father played the cello.
Was it a tribute to him?
Yes. It was a tribute to him. I was going to write actually my memoirs, telling the story about my family, but the story started to, you know, to go on instead of my memoirs, the story of a cello. And
did it surprise you that you popped into the cello and the voice was the cello and that was the?
It was. It was. Because sometimes I really, it comes from long ago. Because when I translated poetry, I tried my best. Well, I didn't even try. It was as if I transformed into the poet who was writing in a different language. I felt like that poet. My last work is the translation of a Danish poet, a woman, Inger Christensen, that died in 2009. And she was even nominated on Nobel Prize. Very complicated poetry, but when I started to read it, I felt like I was Inger Christensen. So I could transform her poetry into Russian.
Would you say that this is a unique trait that you have? That you make your words come alive, there's emotion in them, you became a cello.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Have you seen other poets do this, or this is?
I saw maybe one or two artists like that.
Artists as in?
Artists, painters. I saw a painter who completely transforms himself into his
creations. Wow. So you were going to read one of your poems for us.
Yeah, I can read one of my poems, which is called Masks, and actually it is part of me. Awakening in the morning, I take off the mask of weariness, putting on the mask of joy to meet the coming day. At noon, taking off the mask of joy, putting on the mask of concern. Taking it off at lunch, putting on a mask of placidity. In the evening, switching to the mask of mysteriousness. Before going to sleep, tete-a-tete with myself, I try all masks, finding which suits me best, and put on the mask of weariness, to take it off in the morning.
The directness and the use of few words is quite intriguing to me. And tell us about the world of poetry, or the distinctness in your style, or educate us about what we just heard.
Well, as I said, my poetry is absolutely unpredictable. I don't plan to write poetry. It comes from somewhere.
Does a sentence come out and then do you edit, or does it come out?
No, it comes out. It comes out, the whole poem or part of a poem, and then I finish it in some time. Then I edit. Only then. I look through it. Because when, sometimes the words repeat or whatever, and I'm trying to find the best word which fits into the poem. Especially, most of my poetry is rhymed. I write vers libre as well, but most of my poetry is rhymed. And it's very musical. Well, to say that when my first book was published, there was a composer that fell in love with my poetry and started to write songs.
So you have CDs.
And romances. I have a CD now. It's my personal CD. It's only it's only songs on my poetry, but also some of my songs are included into CDs of other singers, because they sing my songs.
Wow. Do you see that as, as you look to the future of, the different genres that you're involved in, that you'll do more of that, or what are you drawn to?
Well, I'm drawn actually to write more. I'm not going to write a novel. That's absolutely excluded. I won't have patience for that. Okay. No, I won't have patience for that. Short stories and poetry, of course. And of course, I'm going to continue my work with the composer, because sometimes. When you write poems is something. It's one thing. When it is a song, the song is a little bit different genre in music. So there must be a chorus. There must be something, a tagline. Then you cannot use, for example, very long words in a song. So you have to see how they divide into syllables, so they are very musical. Some of my poetry cannot be put to music, I confess, but a lot can be.
What makes a creative person different?
We live in a parallel reality.
Really? What does that mean?
It means that we may live in, among normal people, I would say common people, but our mind looks at things differently. We notice things that sometimes common people just go by, they don't see them. For example, I have a poem about a raindrop. That I was walking, I saw a raindrop on a leaf. I wrote a poem about this raindrop. It is a philosophical poem.
That raindrop grabbed you.
Grabbed me. And sometimes people won't even pay attention to it. I go into the zoo, the flag is up. I come out of the zoo, the flag is down already because they are going to close the zoo.
So in the meditation world, they call that presence, being present in life, observing and being a part of life.
Yeah, yeah. And when I'm writing, especially when I'm writing prose or, well, anything that I'm writing, I don't hear TV. I don't hear the noise from the street. I don't hear the telephone calls. I am completely in the world of what I'm creating. That's why I'm saying we live in a parallel reality.
And why do you need to write?
I cannot live without it. It's my, it's me. It's me.
It's your self-expression.
It's me. I cannot live without writing. If I stop writing, I'll get sick.
So as we come to a close, what do you want people to know about your world and being a creative person and the creative process?
I want them to read me because the greatest acknowledgement and the greatest appreciation that I get from people when they say, Marina, we are so happy that you live among us.
Wow. And
that is the best thing that I have ever heard in my life.
Wow.
And I'm very happy. I'm proud of myself, and I am very happy that my husband is proud of me.
That's beautiful. That you're expressing your journey and being recognized for it. That's absolutely beautiful. Well, we're really pleased that you have been with us in this segment. And just let's loop back to what are some final thoughts on inspiration for other poets and writers that you might want to share with them?
I just want them to, to be themselves.
Beautiful.
That's all. Because if you start to think about what I have to do, what I need to do, what I have to write because there is some anniversary coming or something like that, or I cannot write about this because I will be blamed for it, or something like that. I have never been, I have never wrote for the pleasure of others. I have always written like I felt. I have always,
as a creative,
as an artist, I have always, in my writing, I have always been myself. I could be not myself in different circumstances, because we live in different times, we live in different societies, we have to follow certain rules.
Conventions.
Exactly. But when you write, you have to be yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.